What's good, my man in society? It is your host with the most, Shadowloke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like and comment and subscribe. It's free. It don't, you know, cost you nothing. You help my channel get into the algorithm. I would highly appreciate it. Now, something that I've been getting asked for quite some time actually was my thought overall on God and religion and stuff like that, right? Individuals I have always wanted for me to make a video, give you my personal perspective. But before I get started, because this is a sensitive subject, please understand that am I no way here to try to convince you to look at things from my perspective? Am I no way here to say that I'm right and you're wrong? Am I not no way here to say that these people are dumb for believing in whatever they believe in? These are just my opinions, the way I view things, how I live my life. So I'm not here to convince nobody, and I'm not here to say you're wrong and I'm right. You know what I mean? Because who truly really knows? You know what I mean? I could potentially be wrong. So it's just the way I see it because of my perspective. Now, why don't I believe in God or religion? Because I'm a gang member. Real G's don't believe in that. Nah, that was a joke. Without jokes to the side, I'm a man of science, right? I believe in evolution. I just believe in overall facts, and how could I say? There's more evidence showing that it doesn't exist than that it does. Right? From the Bible to the stories that it tells to the lack of evidence and science has shown, to contradict a few stuff, in the Bible and stuff like that. And so many different religions and, the chaos and brutality and mayhem and lies and everything that has came with the overall breakdown of religion, right? But I understand that religion and God is, separate. It's two separate things. But overall, I'm saying the whole grasp of it. I believe Jesus was a real person. I believe that Jesus was a humble man, just like Martin Luther King, just like, a lot of humble people throughout, history who fought for the greater good and were, kind people. I believe in that because naturally, I believe that man is good. I don't believe that man is naturally evil. I don't believe that man is naturally bad. I don't believe if you remove religion or God out of the equation that the world will go to shit and religion and all of that is the only thing keeping society together. I don't believe in that, but I understand that government and other organizations and people like to believe it's so, right? They need something to manipulate the people, right? Something to keep them in line, because if not, they feel like everything will go out of hand, right? And some people just need something to hold on to. So I got nothing against religion. More power to people, whoever whatever people want to believe in. It's all gravy, I respect people who go to church. My wife's a Christian. She goes to church with my kids and stuff like that. Obviously, she respects my beliefs. You know what I mean? Because we respect each other's beliefs. We respect where we're coming from. You know what I mean? I never insult religion or nothing like that. And she don't insult me. But other people, on the other hand, that's different. When I tell them I don't, my beliefs, I tend to be called names and insulted and a bad person and all kinds of this and that. When it's like, you're the one that goes to church and you're the one that's insulting me. No, ain't that ironic, huh? Because I got no problem with it, but people seem to have a problem with me. They think that just because I don't believe in that I'm over here spilling hatred and propaganda and that I'm an evil person. Like, just because you're not religious doesn't mean that you're a bad person or you're out there committing sins. Doesn't mean none of that. Like I said, I believe in human morals. I believe that we are good. Naturally, humans are good. You are going to have some bad seeds within the flock. As of anything, you know what I mean? It's going to have its negative to it. But overall, I believe that man is good, and I believe man could, accomplish anything that we set our minds to, and that we could do good things. Um, Now, I believe that people just need something to hold on to, right? Some people just fear death because you're being promised. Essentially, what I get from it is that you're saving your seat up in heaven, and you're being promised eternal life, eternity. So you're basically really not gonna die ever, right? So you're gonna be with all your loved ones and live forever. So that's the if you behave good your whole entire life, that is what's promised to you. And I just find that concept really hard to believe, and if anything, more of people's trickery, to get people to do good things, because that is their reward in it. You know what I mean? Because that promise to me is, and it sounds to me more like people are afraid to pass away, or want to believe that their loved ones are up there, amongst nothing but joy and stuff like that, right? So just the thought of that, brings peace to people's minds, and and I, like I said, whatever helps people get by, um, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, I got nothing against people, wanting to feel that. You know what I mean? I could understand it from that perspective. But if somebody who's the man who loves all his children, who's they talk about him that he's this kind, loving soul who loves all his children, this um, loving person. Yeah, we have all these natural disasters, kids being killed, women being raped, and all kinds of tortures and all kinds of gruesome stuff going out throughout the whole entire world, and he just kicks back. He has the power to stop all of this, yet he allows it to go on. And it's like, the person you're describing going based off of human behavior and his actions say otherwise. They're two different things. Like, from what you're describing to what is actually occurring is two different things. How could you allow your children to be raped and killed and molested, tortured, chopped up, and all that kind of stuff, bro? I just don't see how that's possible of a loving person. And another thing that's contradicts itself is that people say, well, I have to repent before it's too late, before I pass away. You know what I mean? I have to make my peace and everything. But if he's a loving soul, as you say he is, and from everything that I have gathered and read, then when it's my time to go and meet him, then he'll forgive me then. You know what I mean? If there's true, if I'm sincere in what I'm speaking, then he'll forgive me then. Because if he doesn't, then he is not this soul that's understanding that people say it is. That to me is like I say, another form to get people to do good. You know what I mean? It's the mind games that's being played. Because like I said, he has the power to create all this and that, and do all this and that. Yet all these crazy stuff be happening, and you know what I mean? I believe Jesus was a great person, a humble person, and one of the first philosophers, right? He was very intelligent. Just by him observing, he was able to gaze into the future, right? Many philosophers are like that, right? Friedrich Nietzsche, somebody that I look up to, and I admire his work. He has predicted the future. You know what I mean? In his books, I recommend his books. Really good books. And he's not the only philosopher, but many other philosophers, just going based off of human behavior and observing, you're able to see where the future is going. So I believe Jesus, had that ability, right? And the tales that he told was, sometimes people are not able to understand when you explain stuff to them. So sometimes you need to, paraphrase it in a different way, right? Like, every story has a message behind it, like the turtle and the hare. You know what I mean? To not live life in the fast lane, and wooty wooty woo. But stories that have messages behind them, and that's how people understand. I believe that he used to tell his tales for that very exact same reason, right? To get people to understand what he was talking about. Because remember, education really, well, not that many people were so humble to get education back then. So it was his way of getting these people to understand. He was a great person. There's been people, like Jesus throughout history. There's been evil people like Caesar throughout history as well. From Hitler, Saddam Hussein, to all these dictators, and then you have the kind souls like Jesus and Martin Luther King and Cesar Chavez and other activists. It's a clash between good and bad throughout history. Um, so when people tell me about oh well, how do you explain all of this coming together and all of this being the way it is, and or one of the things that they say, okay, well, who created the Big Bang and the energies and all of that, and it's like, okay, then we could go off of that same exact argument that you're saying and say, well, who created God? Then he must have a creator, right? I mean, it's the same argument. Because you could just say, no, well, it just happened. He was already always in existence. Well, you could say the same thing for the argument of the galaxy and the universe. I don't see the difference, or why yours holds more merit than this one when there's more evidence showing this than that. Um, because we're going based off of evidence here. And like I said, we don't truly fully understand everything, and we don't truly know everything. That's the beauty about science. Is it never has it's we learn as we go. You know what I mean? And I'm not, and don't take this as I'm saying that you're wrong and I'm right and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm only giving my perspective and arguments on why I see it the way I see it. Am I no way here trying to say that I'm right and that this is 100% what it is? This is just what I think it is. Okay, so there's the difference. So I'm not here to say that you're wrong. Because I can see why people see it from their perspective and want to see it from that perspective. I got nothing against why people want to view it that way. I understand. I completely understand. People need something to hold on to. People need, why not have that thought of joy and stuff like that? Why would you want to strip that away from somebody? I completely understand that. That's why I don't insult people who believe in all that, and I actually tip my hats to for what religion has helped a lot of people change their lives for the greater good. That's why I never come in insulted and stuff like that. Do people use it as manipulation? Yes. Do people use it, to do their evil deeds? Yes. I mean, you've seen priests that molest kids and all these scandals and stuff like that. So yes, there's people, like I said, that's just man. You are gonna have some men who like to manipulate stuff to get their benefits off of it. Throughout history, men like that have existed. You know what I mean? But overall, I think when somebody just dies, that's just it. Like it's life is over. Like it's just that's it. There's nothing beyond that. We just die. That's you know. Now, that's not to say that that's whack or that's a scary thought. No, because you already lived your life. You know what I mean? You already lived your life. You seen your kids grow up, and you gave them all your knowledge and wisdom, and showed them everything. Now for them to paint their path. You know what I mean? You taught them everything that you know. So now it's just for them now to go on their path, right? And you already lived your. That's what I think heaven is. I think heaven is when you're able to pass away, knowing that you already taught your kids everything that that everything's good, that you're at peace at mind, right? You made all your peace with everybody, and that you're really good. There's no better way of going than with a clear mind and conscience. You know what I mean? That is heaven. You know what I mean? Going like that. Wow. What I think hell is when you're a bad person and a horrible individual, and then before you're about to go, that people hate you, and because you hear all the noise, and that all the scandalous stuff you did to all these individuals, and everybody's waiting to spit on your tomb and your dance on your grave, and just stressing all those thoughts and just stressing over everything. You're about to die, and these are your last thoughts and what you're stressing on, and what a horrible way to go. But people brought it upon themselves, though. So overall, I think that's what I considered hell. You know what I mean? We were born to live and we're born to die, and that's just it. I understand that people want to have this idea of immortality. You know what I mean? Because all the movies we have seen and all that. Yeah, it's lovely to think that we could live forever. But sometimes we need some reality in our lives, and it's like everything comes to an end, bro. And that's not a bad thing, like I said, because you got to live your life. But overall, that's just what I think, my perspective. You know, I'm not saying here for you to believe in what like I said, these are just my opinions. You know, what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments. I'm curious to always hear what people have to say. And Shadow, we out.